We're in. Oh, yeah. Welcome to the show.
Welcome to slightly delayed edition.
Sorry for everyone for delaying the episode by a week because I was very sick. I had the COVID for the first time ever. I thought I got through it without COVID through the whole thing, and then I fell at like the final hurdle, so that kind of sucked. But I'm now clear. I'm all good.
You're still alive?
I'm alive. I'm not being replaced. I was just gonna. That's what I was literally gonna say.
Well, we had a joke before we started. As you can probably tell, my voice has vastly changed because I'm pretty stuffed up with the cold.
You sound like you're sick as well.
Well,
plague cast.
Yeah, it is a bit, but
it's taken so much out of us to get to episode 30 that I nearly died. Hamish is on his way. Simon's okay.
And I've been in London socialising with lots of people, so I'm definitely getting sick this week. Yeah,
London is a dangerous city, so yeah, you never know.
I don't know about you, but I always think that my stuffed up voice sounds more
sexy.
I've got a bit.
I'm not afraid to say it. I'm not. I'm going to say it. I think it sounds better in a sexual way.
Yeah.
So I'm here to say that.
Okay. The prime of lime.
So if you like the sound of my voice, everyone, in future events, don't be afraid to sneeze on me so that I can continue to have this.
That's not cool.
Also, check out his OnlyFans ASMR. So,
can we just make sure that everyone's clear that that's a Hamish only, not a push the point wide. We don't.
No.
We liked it when you came up to us and gave us beers. I'm not sure that we would extend that to you. Sneezing on us.
I'm just saying, just like the audio, right? You know what to do. So.
This is the thing: is you get to have this recorded for prosperity. Because often I think when you have a cold and you have a really good voice, not many people get to hear it because you're often very ill, so you don't see a lot of people, and you're like, my voice was so good, and no one's getting it. But for you could always come back to episode 30, 3-0. The big 3-0.
Oh yeah.
Push the point. And you'll hear, in fact, that you had an amazing voice.
Yeah, for once. For once
in your life. Go ahead.
While you two have been sick, I've been getting back into live music, actually. I've been to Download Festival, got my T-shirt on.
Well, that's impressive. They just let you on the stage? Or
no, unfortunately not. But it was good to watch. And then I've been down to London this weekend for British Summertime, the Rolling Stones. And despite being in their 70s now, they are still rocking it.
Very cool.
That's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Very cool.
I really enjoyed it.
What about you, Tripp? Have you done anything, or have you just been?
Well, I have, because I did my isolation and I got my negative test, so I was able to go out today to a pre-release, which was pretty cool. But other than that, I've just been opening boxes of Uprising, and which has been very fun. Unfortunately, a lot of the I was fine last weekend. Actually, no, I wasn't, so I wouldn't have been able to go anyway. So unfortunately for most, the pre-releases in the UK got kind of delayed, which kind of meant that they actually got cancelled. So I don't know if we'll talk about that later, but unfortunately, we didn't really get to do that many. Hamish, I think you did one. Maybe, and I did one. We all did one, which is actually, what I probably want most people do.
Let's not get into that because I've got opinions on Uprising Sealed.
Oh, fair. Well, sealed, isn't it? So for me, this weekend I went to. It was actually yesterday. Today is Sunday when we record. I went to a wedding, which was kind of cool. It was again another nice opportunity for just me and Faye just to hang out all day. And then it was also my mum's 60th as well, so she had a Mexican
big day
theme going on in the evening. So she had the mariachi bands.
No way, you had one there?
Yeah. And then she also had a DJ that sounded like he should have been at Download because it was loud. And I remember driving up to the top of the neck, because we got another town called Rothwell, because my mum lives in a little town called Desborough, and Rothwell's just like up the hill. So it was the same as last year, and I do it every year just to sort of sound check how loud this is. And yeah, you can hear it in another town.
From the top of the hill.
Yeah.
In another town.
It is loud. It is loud.
Brilliant.
So it was real cool, man. So probably a lot of
people will think,
well, this is probably a reason why you sound pretty rough, because you went to a wedding followed by a 60th slam down. But yeah, I wasn't exactly feeling amazing at that point. But yeah, that's my home news.
The thing about mariachi bands, though, is you can't be unhappy around a mariachi band.
No,
they're so energizing.
It's uplifting.
Yeah, very much. Love it.
Yeah. Uplifting. Talking about other ups, Uprising.
Oh, nice segue.
Oh, that's a great one.
Oh, yes. It was a really good segue into something that we're not going to do yet because we've got to do the beer bit. So it's completely wasted.
Do you want to just say? We could just say it again.
This shot is load way too early.
We'll go back. Okay, so
Hamish, what are you drinking
today?
Thank
you, Simon. Well, pre-recording, which was actually a really funny bit, which we haven't managed to slap in, when you were saying, I've got a really big beer. Well, I've decided to outgrow everyone. Well, I didn't, because again, Dale has sourced me another beer. It is pretty huge.
Oh.
It is called a Fact. So it's obviously,
look at the size of it.
It looks like it looks like a can you'd get bread inside of. Bread in a can.
It looks like a can of cookie dough.
Yeah.
It's called Facts Premium Quality Lager Beer Collector's Item. It's basically from Aldi or Lidl. I can't remember.
Oh, is it?
I thought only the NHS
how big it is
anymore.
That's the range.
It's like a can of baked beans.
Are you
going to finger the ring?
I'm going to finger this ring. Yeah. So Dale brought me this, and I was just like, that's insane. But the artwork on it, it's just awesome.
That does look pretty cool.
It is
it's pretty cool.
Is that guy got a moustache?
Look at that.
That looks like Zangief from Super Street Fighter 2.
Yeah,
he's got some great teeth whitening technique or conditioning.
This is going to be
so bright.
Turn it round. I want to see the guy with the moustache on the other side.
Oh, right, yeah. I did say that was Simon.
Oh,
look at that.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
That is sick,
he looks like the guy from. Yeah, that's wicked. That is.
I feel like I've won. I feel like I've won with this. When I saw this and Dale gave
definitely
me, I was just
me.
like, "This is the coolest shit I've ever seen." So
I didn't know we were bringing our big boy beers today.
Well, Simon said he brought big boy beer, so I thought I'd bring the biggest boy beer. So Simon, follow up.
Well, I thought because we've had a week delay, I'd just save it all up into one.
Ooh.
And I've got one called Intergalactic Bounty Hunter, which is an imperial coconut and coffee stout.
Yeah.
And it's 12%. So
you might have to lift it up a little bit higher, Simon.
Well, I was trying to just tease the reveal. It's from a Dutch brewery. And Intergalactic Bounty Hunter. It's got some cool indie artwork on the front.
Looks really
I'm gonna murder this Meersleutel from the Netherlands. So yeah, I'm gonna enjoy that. 12%. So if I'm slurring my words by the end of the podcast, you know why?
Well, yeah, mine's 5%, but it's pretty big. So
but you've probably got 3 times as much. So we're
well,
back on a par.
I'm afraid, Simon, that I've outdone you because my drink is
Simon. All right,
is 12.5%, and that is because it is a fine bottle of white wine. This wine is called the Feather Plucker's Daughter. It's a Chardonnay from Australia.
Ooh.
Say that 3 times fast.
But it says on the back, I'm not a feather plucker, I'm a feather plucker's daughter. And apparently you're meant to try and say that once you've drunk the entire bottle, so maybe we'll try that at the end.
Okay.
All 3 of us can try and do it. I'm excited about it.
Absolutely.
I've just got stout all over my desk. So that was
a
classic.
I'm banging this open now.
Yeah, cheers, everyone.
Cheers.
Oh, God. Right, cheers. And I'm going to drink this out of the can like a man.
I'm drinking out of glass, so like a boy.
Well, the can is.
This is black as the night.
The can is pretty big. The beer is pretty oldie.
So it's just a pretty average lager, right?
It's a pretty average lager in an extremely massive.
Well, fair play. I think that can is sick. How big? Like, how big is it? Like in terms of milliliters? Did you say? Or pints or whatever? Is it a pint can?
I think it's 2. I think it's technically 2 and a bit. It's 1,000 milliliters.
Oh shit! So it's like
a liter.
That's a lot.
It's a
A liter of beer.
Of beer.
It's just shy of 2 pints. Well, it's not just shy, but it's just.
It's a stein. Yeah, it's a stein size.
I've got a. Right.
Oh, is that what it is?
Okay,
yeah.
episode 30. I'm fucked enough.
Because sensibly, the Europeans use the metric system for everything rather than.
Don't be dissing pints, mate.
No, I love a pint. 568 mils.
I don't want a liter of beer. I want exactly 3 pints.
I don't think I've thought this through. So let's see how we go.
Well, I don't think I've thought it through either.
Hamish is on the floor.
I've just taken a sip of this, and I can feel the 12% already.
I'm not sure how I feel about the coconut in it. Can you taste the coconut?
It's a very subtle sweetness to go with the coffee's bitterness and the stout. It's very nice, actually. Very tasty.
Right. I'll have to try it. I'm not a big coconut drinker, but I'll give it a go sometime.
So,
you want to try that segue again?
Okay,
Hamish?
so we
just chatted about Uprising, right? Sorry.
We've all been pretty uplifted. So now let's talk about other ups. Uprising.
Like the Disney Pixar.
Lovely segue, Hamish. Thank you.
I just thought I would talk over you because.
Well, it's funny that you said that up because when I went to that wedding, they had the
theme.
Yeah, they had that when they walked in an acoustic guitar. It was quite nice.
We had that.
Very sweet.
We had that. That's what we had when we left our wedding service. It was
nice. It's a good tune. Good tune. Anyway, Uprising.
I think could have got that wrong. Good job. Kate's not back, so I could just say what I want.
So let's talk about the pre-releases of Uprising. That was kind of like the first thing we went through. So I went to Living Realms because that was
of course you did. Yeah,
that was a off the cuff. My wife was not too pleased.
Yeah,
yeah, you can say that.
I didn't think you were going. I told everyone on Twitter we weren't going, and Hamish was like at the petrol station filling up the car.
That's not my car. I was just at the petrol station grabbing a Greg's, but it was I've said to Faye. I might not be on, and then I just said, "Oh, it is on," and she went, "All right, okay. Well, it doesn't matter because you're leaving at 10, right?" I was like, "No, it starts at 10, and it's not Northampton." So imagine telling her, "Sorry, I'm leaving at 8 in the morning. I'm leaving at 8 in the morning." No, I want to go shopping and get all these bits done before you go.
Oh, mate.
And then the guys show up at my house at 6:30 in the morning. So.
Error.
Yeah, but I got back home earlier. But yeah, I went to Living Realms because the North seemed to have the upper hand. Yeah, so I'm just going to put up.
For anyone listening who's not in the know, one of the suppliers to the UK, or the main UK supplier, had all their stock stuck in the French customs or French port. Sorry. And the European supplier, who some UK stores get stock from, were able to get their stock across the border in time, because obviously the European supplier then gives the stock to the UK supplier, and by the time it was a mess. So anyone who had supply from Blackfire got their pre-release going. That included Living Realms, and so you had a good turnout, didn't you? There was a lot of people.
It was all right, actually. Yeah, I think it was definitely more than what they were going to get. It was me, Barry, Mike, Dimitri, and James, who from the Northampton Peterborough side, all jumped into a car and went there. So I think there's definitely 5 more. I think the rest of them were.
A couple from Nottingham went as well.
Yeah, so it turned out to be a pretty good turnout. So that was shout out to Living Realms. Cheers for sorting that out. As promised, I said I will give you a shout out. Cheers for screwing up the second draft. You guys suck. I told you. I would say that you suck. I'm joking. Well, they tried to put on a second draft. It was fine. It was an amazing event. Living Realms, as per usual, knock it out of the park every single time.
Good. So in Nottingham, we had ours cancelled. Both of our pre-releases, Underworld and Dice Cup, cancelled on the first week. I played the Underworld one on a Wednesday, so they got their stock and they replaced their normal Wednesday armory with a pre-release, which meant we actually had quite a few people turn up. I think 24 turn up, and it was really, really fun evening. I'll get into why I don't rate sealed in a bit, but yeah, Dan, how did yours go?
Yeah, so I went to Dyson Destiny down in Canterbury today, so that was really good.
I was down that way after.
I wasn't able to go to the previous one, but they rearranged it, which is great. They're one of the few stores that did rearrange it. I know a lot of stores just didn't have the people didn't want to go because the set was already out.
Week later, and you've had it all.
And it's like fair enough, but I really wanted to play some sealed. I'm probably going to have the same opinion of Simon, which is that I actually don't particularly like 6-pack sealed very much, but it was still really interesting. I played Fi and didn't do particularly well, but it was good to just. I think sealed is kind of like a way to just learn what the cards do, and that's just it's like a if you just treat it like a crash course in like learning the commons and rares of the set and how they actually interact with each other in an actual game, then you'll get something out of it. But I think going in and being like, I'm going to win this is trickier without doing any practice or anything. Like I barely even looked at the new cards, apart from the ones I want for my new deck. But yeah, Simon, do you want to go into detail your sort of thoughts on sealed?
I will just weigh in here and just say I completely agree with you guys. But I don't know what I can only imagine what your sentiment will be. But yeah, go for it.
I think this set more than any other, maybe Tails with how the sealed went for Tails. I think one sealed event is enough for this set. Uprising, don't get me wrong, I've very much enjoyed opening Uprising for my own decks. I really enjoy the pack structure. I really enjoy the cards that are in it. But I think there's so much variability in opening 6 packs worth. And our pre-release basically came down to who had the better cards for Fi. Like you can put together a Fi deck and go super aggro, and you can still lose against anyone. You can have 20 blues and put it into an Icelander deck and still lose to anyone. Or you can try and build Dramai, which is super hard if you don't have like key pieces, right? So I just think the variability on it is so random. To win one does obviously take a lot of skill, but to lose one could be completely random. So
I think there's also there's also an issue a bit. Like this is just my personal experience is that I opened one rare dragon in all 6 of my packs. And it was like, okay, I guess I'm not playing Dramai then because I can't. Like I know I can play like Swarm the Field of Ashwings, but like the whole point of that deck is to put out some cool looking dragon, right? And I was just like, oh, I guess that hero is completely shut off to me. And then it's like, do I want to play Icelander or do I want to play Fire? And I think that's a decision a lot of people are going to go for Fire because Icelander's harder to play. And like I just was like, okay, I'll just go aggro, and it just felt like I didn't have much of a choice. Like I was like, oh, I guess I have to play this because my Icelander. I actually ended up building an Icelander deck for the last game, and it was terrible. Like it just didn't. I had 3 blue ice cards, right? Like it just didn't work. So I think draft, and I'm sure we'll all agree on this. Draft is going to be much more fun because you have much more control over your deck. And I discussed this with a few of the people at Dyson Destiny. We were just saying, like, in a draft, if everyone goes 5, then all of your decks are shit, right? Like in a seal, there's no shared pool. Like you just have lots of quite strong 5 decks, which you shouldn't get in a draft. So that should fix things quite well. And also, I just think Icelander will be way better in draft with the ability to curate you. Just like Kano is much better in Arcane Draft than in Arcane Seal.
Yeah. It just highlights to me the gulf in enjoyment between sealed and draft.
Yeah.
That being said, as a separate note, I've recently played some Shapeshifter sealed, and it's hilariously fun.
That's
and
great.
I think that should be more of a like just for fun armories. That is a great way to go.
I was recommending that to some people today as well. If you haven't played Shapeshifter Sealed, normally you could probably organize it with your local store, but also they tend to put it on at Callings and they put one on at the Pro Tour, and it is genuinely very fun. It's a great laugh as well because no one can take it too seriously, so you just end up having fun with your opponent and discovering interesting interactions because you can't really take it too seriously because it's absolutely bonkers. But yeah, it was the pre-release was great. Like I had a great time. I opened a legendary, so I effectively won the pre-release, which is why I always say if you open if you open an L or a Fable, you basically win sealed. Like
I got a cold foil dragon, so I was happy as well.
Barely won any games. I think I went 2 and 3 in the end, but opened an L, so that's the win, right?
Who's the real winner?
Absolutely.
What do you think, Hamish? How was yours?
What the whole thing? I think just to touch back a bit, I think the sealed process is kind of feels just the same as any other, really.
Yeah.
Even when we did sealed Arcane Rising back in the day, you even in Arcane Rising, if someone bags himself an induction chamber,
dead.
You just play dash and you win. It wasn't exactly too hard, and you just put the deck up with so many blocks, block everything out, and just shoot them to death. Monarch, you just get some mad prism deck, and if someone pulls a Luminaris, it's kind of a bit of an easy event for you, really. It's not, what I mean. I sound like I'm being a bit too thingy, but it's very difficult to manage something like that. I think
you're right.
I think Tales of Aria then was kind of very much just like Briar, and I feel like your argument with Fight and Briar being that deck that everyone wants is a potential, like, I can see where you're coming from with this, because I don't know how right that may or may not be. I think.
I don't think it's the
deck. It's not about that.
Easiest to see.
I don't think it's the deck everyone wants. I just think it's the easiest to put together with a poor-ish pool of cards, right?
Yeah, but I think in time, if like, I'm not sitting there to feel like I couldn't really care about sealed, but I just know that once you understand the card pool a little bit more and knowing what the stronger picks are, that isn't a Draconic Ninja written on it that has go again. You can actually see that there's some pretty cool there's some bigger cards in your collection that you probably never even looked at and gave it like much credit for initially, and then in time you could actually just look at that sealed pool and actually go, you know what, actually I reckon I could have made a better version out of this. But it's also just like you said, I think that you got this all right. It's a demo, isn't it? It's a demo of the set, and you're going to be crap at it. You have no idea really what's good and what's not good. You're going to just try and think what's good and what's not good. And I just don't. There's no issue in winning or losing any of it. I think if someone did win sealed out of it, it's like, yeah, sick, good on you. But it's
fun. It's a bit of fun.
It's just literally a bit of fun. I didn't do very well in my sealed either. It sounds like all of it.
I went 1 and 3.
If I won it, I'd be like, nah, sealed's sick, mate.
Nah, because we've all done well at sealed events in the past. Like,
Tales of Aria was on fire.
Yeah, so like I used to go and do Monarch sealed all the time, and would just build Prism, and I would just build it exactly the same way every time, and that would be it. And I wouldn't win but I'd win tournaments more often than I'd lose them, because it was just some people just didn't know what was going on, and you just steamroll people with. And I'm sure it's similar, but like with draft, it's like it doesn't matter who the
draft is a different beast.
It doesn't matter who the best hero is, because if everyone congregates to the same hero, the set draft is sort of self-balancing in that way. If there is a hero that is the best, then people gravitate towards it, and they sort of neuter each other's builds. So then it allows another hero that might be tier 2 to actually come through. And there does seem to be a kind of, balance. Like Dramai is meant to, presumably Dramai is meant to beat Icelander, and Icelander is meant to beat Fi, and Fi is meant to beat Dramai. So like that feels like, I know it's not as simple as that, but that feels like the sort of basic foundation that they were probably aiming for when they were building the set.
And again, I think in draft that's fine, because you've curated your deck, but sealed is just, anyway. We're not going to go on about it.
Yeah, let's not talk about it too much.
Fuck this conversation off.
Yeah, because
what I would like to do is get a bit more positive and talk about the legend positive.
Oh,
not COVID positive like Tripp. That was last week.
I am COVID negative. I just want to clarify that.
Seeing as Tripp pulled a legendary in his sealed pool, and I opened one today from one of my boxes, the same one as Tripp opened, in fact. We thought it would be a good idea just to talk about the 6 legendaries and the fabled for the set and give them a hot or not rating.
Are we doing that with just this set, or are we doing an entire...
Just this set.
Just this set.
No.
We weren't going to go through all of them.
No, that would take ages.
Bloody hell. Not here all night, if that's what the people want, if the people want a what's hot, what's not, with every single legendary in the game, let us know. But God, I don't have time for that.
I think. Okay, go for it. I think the general consensus, I will say though, is that you shouldn't turn these things down. Right, they're pretty strong.
Well, let's discuss. But does this count as an official what's hot, what's not?
Because first things first, we put the jingle on. Come on.
I want to hear Hamish do the what's hot, what's not with his broken voice.
Well, if you're listening to this on Spotify, this is going to head up a lot better. But on YouTube, here we go. What's hot and what's not? There we go. That's pretty low.
That's pretty good. Actually. Yeah,
it's pretty good. It's pretty low. There you go. Right. Okay. What's hot? What's not, people? So, Simon.
Right. Let's start with the card that Tripp and I both opened today. Flamescale Furnace, draconic equipment for the chest.
It's hot.
Yeah.
Literally.
It's literally hot.
Yeah. That card is hot. It's well good.
Do you think do you think it was this is my question to you guys. Do you think it will see any play at all in Fi?
Why not?
Fi.
Yeah, of course. Why not?
Yeah, I think so.
In what way?
It's a block 2.
Do you think? And you wouldn't run Tunic.
No.
That's all. That's what I'm trying to get out of you. It's like
I think you will.
No, I don't think you do.
I think this card is set up for. Obviously, it's block 2, which Ninja doesn't normally have access to. Well, it is technically, but
strong.
Also, I think you probably gain more resources from it than Tunic over a game. I don't know, because you have to pay one to gain resources, but also if you've pitched a couple of red cards early in the game for maybe late game.
I mean, this is my early take on it. I think it's a decent enough card. I think if you're going to look at this card overall and go, right, should I have this in my Draconic Ninja deck? Yes, I think you should. I think you should just include this into your equipment list in your deck. But the simple reason is that you've got 3 health now on top of whatever you're going to get. You might look at this and just go, I don't think I'm actually going to use the ability too much. But I'm up against someone like Bravo that's going to throw some crippling crushes at me and stuff. And I thank God I've got some more armor to throw at this, so I can continue the onslaught. I think it's a simple reason for that. That's good.
Unlike things like Courage of Bladehold, I know that's a majestic, but a lot of these cards with Temper have an ability that once you've used it, it destroys the card. This is an instant that you can use over and over again.
Is this the first legendary Temper?
Probably not.
Might be, actually.
But I can't recall.
No, I think I'm going to go out here and someone can throw it in the comment. Tell us we're wrong. I think this is the first legendary Temper, because Temper was the Crucible of War thing.
It was a majestic equipment thing, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was definitely seen in Crucible of War. I think this is the first legendary Temper that you've seen. But I don't think the Temper.
We have legendaries.
We do have legendaries. Stalagmite is Temper.
Blade Break.
Oh, Stalagmite. Good shout. But Stalagmite's pretty fucking good.
The Stalagmite's great. And I also agree with you guys. I think that this is a really good card. I think fair enough for the Bravo matchup, but I think specifically for the Ice Lexi matchup, I think you really want this, because Ice Lexi is coming at you with a lot of awkward 4s and 5s, and having 2 block on 1 block really helps you sort of block out something like a endless arrow that you just need to stop them hitting you with endless arrow again and again.
Even Katsu as well. Yeah. Like Katsu's one of those heroes. Want to just go, okay, cool, I'll give it a block 2, and then on a pinch, there's going to be a Kadachi that you're going to go, sweet, that's going to turn that off for the masculine momentum.
Yeah.
What do you guys think about, so just moving on, because we've got a few to go through. Coronet Peak, so that's the ice equipment that lets you pay 3 as an action to force a discard unless the opponent pays 1, and it does not have go again, and it has blade break, so you can block with it once.
Ice cold, baby.
As in hot, but
I think this card is hot.
But it's card for card, though, isn't it? I mean, they're always going to be able to play one.
It's different. It's different, right? It's completely different. So you've got to put it into the context of where this is going into, right? This is definitely not going to be a card for Oldhim. Oldhim's not going to really maximize this to its fullest. He'd rather just pitch through to swing hammer to do almost like the same sort of thing, right? But with Icelander, how do you like control a matchup when you don't throw like attack action cards or anything at it? So with Icelander, it's one of those simple things of blocking up. You've got 2 cards left in hand. You can't use your wizard weapon because you played a non-attack action card, and you're desperate to arsenals. What do you do with that second card? Oh, I know what I'll do. I'll just make you have 3 cards. Every turn, you have 3 cards. It's
3 cards plus arsenal.
But yeah, all right. You're never going to have a 5-card hand. Are you?
I also think it's really good. I think the question you have to ask yourself is, what are you playing instead?
Oh yeah, you're not going to play anything over it, are you?
Which I think is, I'm not sure. And then secondly, I just think it's really good. I think, like Hamish is saying, it's a 2 blue. You're always arsenaling every single turn of the game, right?
You have
not
to.
Doing that.
Otherwise, Icelander does not work.
And sometimes, like, the opponent just might not do anything, and you're like, okay, well, I guess what can I do? I'm either playing the Waning Moon, so I can hit you for 2 and waste a resource, or I'm playing Krakens, so I can come at you for 1. Like you could
card draw.
Yeah, like you could be really cheeky with this, and you make them do this, and then they pitch a red, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'll Kraken you then, if you've got the resources for it, because then they either pitch another card to prevent the draw from Kraken, and then maybe you lose your.
I don't think the Kraken's
but then now they've got.
But
now they've got 2 cards. I'm a big fan.
I rate the Kraken.
I think Waning Moon
I just let him hit me, draw a card, I don't care.
Okay.
Well, no, but especially when you just don't Coronet's Peak, you know, I'll lose a card. All right, I'll pitch. All right, Kraken, I'll draw a card. All right, okay, take 1, draw a card. Turn's over.
No, it's not over because it's an instant.
No, but they've just Coronet Peak. Their turn's over.
You've got to save Coronet Peak to the end, though, haven't you?
What do you mean? Is Kraken's an instant?
Yeah, what I'm saying is that card
but the Coronet Peak is an action. Coronet Peak is an action.
What I'm saying is you got 2 blues, right?
Yeah.
And they're thinking, oh, they're just going to Coronet Peak me and then Arsenal. So they pitch a red to prevent the discard. And then you're like, okay, in that case, I'm just cracking you.
Right,
rather than Arsenal this turn, I just force...
Hamish's point is, what are you going to do with the card?
Then you Arsenal that, because that's still a 2... so that's what I'm saying, it's a 2-card hand. And you've got an option. So they can't just pitch a red; they have to pitch more because you still have the threat of the Kraken.
I don't know if I agree. I'm
not saying you do that every turn. I'm just saying you've got options, and it's. I think it's an interesting one. We're talking way more now. We're talking about Kraken. This is not the card we're talking about.
Is it hot or not?
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's super hot. I think this card's great. In fact, it blocks for 2.
Yeah,
wait,
that's decent.
That's just good value.
Yeah, it's going to be a point. It's going to be a point in the game where you've managed to achieve like slowing their stuff down, and you managed to get some of those frost hexes out there. You kind of achieved what you need to achieve to keep the pace down. You're now gaining that momentum to actually potentially put some real damage onto them. So there's your 2 block. It served its purpose.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
And moving on to
Ghostly Touch.
That card is very weird.
Illusionist equipment. Let me read it. Whenever an illusionist attack you control is destroyed by Phantasm, put a haunt counter on Ghostly Touch.
Yeah, that bit's I get. That's easy.
Right. Once per turn action. Remove a haunt counter from Ghostly Touch. Until the end of turn, this becomes an illusionist ally with Phantasm. It has base attack and life equal to the number of haunt counters on it, and once per turn action, 3 cost attack, go again.
Okay, so can I summarize this? The haunt counters bit is easy. Every time you destroy Phantasm, that builds up, right? That's the easy bit. So it has a once per turn action of where you, let's say we're going to put 10. We've got 10 tokens on. Once per turn action, I'm going to knock one of those haunt counters down. I'm going to make a 9/9 ally. That 9/9 ally only stays until the end of the turn. Is that right?
It says remove a haunt counter from Ghostly Touch.
Yeah, so 10
until the end of turn.
Yeah.
Until the end of turn, Ghostly Touch becomes an illusionist ally with Phantasm.
Yeah.
Right.
Which is good.
Become a 9/9.
Yeah. If you started with 10, it would become a 9/9 ally until the end of turn.
That, the horn counter goes back onto the ghostly thing.
No, it just breaks the equipment.
No, but that becomes no, it doesn't break the equipment.
Pretty sure it does. I could be wrong.
No, but it turns into an ally.
Yeah, and then you can pop the Phantasm as in the ally, and the card goes to the grave because it's become a weapon that you can destroy.
Right, so the actual card is the ally.
I believe so. Yeah, it's not like Luminaris, where Luminaris transforms something else into a weapon. This is a thing that becomes a weapon, and you can kill it.
I thought it just made it.
It's an ally, doesn't it?
I thought
maybe we don't.
Gloves...
Do we know enough about Flesh and Blood to hot or not this card? I actually think it's okay. Like I don't think it's fantastic, but I think a lot of what people are saying, if it works the way that I think it works, is that, well, why would it be any good? Because if you're playing against, in order for it to get big, you need to play against a deck that has a lot of blockers. And if the deck has a lot of poppers, and if the deck has a lot of poppers, they're just going to break it when you actually attack with it. But actually, quite a few decks run like a small number of 6 power cards to just annoy Prism and keep themselves in the game. And if you got this up to like 4 or 5, that's some pretty good late game value that you can just throw out there.
So the release notes say when Ghostly Touch becomes an illusionist ally with Phantasm, it loses all other properties until the end of turn. It is no longer called Ghostly Touch. It does not have the type's illusionist equipment arms. It does not have a defense, and it does not have its card text. As such, it does not trigger when an attack you control is destroyed by Phantasm. So when you make that ally, it ceases being Ghostly Touch. So if that is destroyed, I do not think Ghostly Touch is destroyed.
Right.
Okay. I don't know if that's the case. Someone get on the rules Discord.
Yeah. I think, to be honest with you, I think the card is... Like, I agree with Tripp, it's going to be okay, but I think that card will have a place. And maybe it is the card that helps support those matchups where you are facing up against Brute or someone. And they are one of those heroes that can basically stop you from gaining that momentum of heralds and stuff.
But again, this
is an ender card to go, right, I've got 15/15, I'll swing. And I know this is a bit of a wild thing, but you could semblance it. So it doesn't have Phantasm. 15/15, go, block.
What are the alternative card equipment that you can play?
That's what I was going to say.
Goliath Gauntlet and Dreamweavers, right?
And Iron Rock Gloves.
And Iron Rock, or Iron
Hide or Goliath Gauntlet. Yeah. I think you run it because it's. I think it's an interesting card, and I agree with Simon. I'm not sure what else you're going to run in this slot. I think if you're running against Runeblade, you stick the Null Rune there, but.
I think
if it gives you a 5/5 attack once at the end of the game, like that's probably good value.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think it speeds things up. I think with Prism, which is assuming what you're playing with Prism, you might play with it's attacks, not dragons, right? So your dragon dying won't make it bigger.
I don't see why. I don't see a problem with this even with Prism, right? Because I'm just thinking this through. Okay, I play Held of Air Edition. You pop it. Okay, I use my footsteps, bring that back. Do a couple of my auras, attack, and then you just go, okay, Phantasmal. I'll do the Ghostly Touch gloves. Here's a 7/7 bam. And if you blow it up, right, whatever, you blow it up. But if you don't, right, take 7 damage.
Yeah, I think it's cool. I think I think the main issue is that with the Prism game plan, it's almost like you don't need it. Like it speeds things up, which I think is fine. Like it sort of gives you a quicker, you can go aura spam and then finish with like a 5/5.
Maybe
like,
there is a hero.
Sure.
There is a hero that we do not know that will make this thing go, ooh, okay. It's a little bit more dangerous than we give it credit for.
I mean, this is a point as well. Like these are, we're trying to look at these with what cards we have now.
They should fit into the set though, right?
They should do,
and they do because dragons pop.
Okay, hot or not? Then are we going Ghostly Touch hot?
I'm going to go with tempered.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to say hot for this one. I think I think I'll just say not because otherwise we just give everything hot.
I'm going to give it a not because I'm thick, right?
Someone might explain it better to me.
Yeah. All right, next one is Tiger Stripe Shuko, the ninja equipment arm. So Is this gonna replace Breaking Scales?
Don't see why not.
I guess.
In Phi, yes.
Yeah, in Phi,
in
not
Katsu,
in
debatable.
I don't think you do replace it in Katsu. Breaking Scales is just so good.
Breaking Scales has one defense, whereas this has two, but this has Blade Break.
Yeah,
and,
I don't see why. I don't see why it shouldn't replace it. To be honest, because I think it's one of those legendaries that are like, yeah, it starts adding up to quite a bit. It is a 2-block.
Yeah, but it's the second. It's the second attack action with 2 or less base you play each turn.
Yeah, well, that does quite a lot of work.
Katsu does not play many.
Yeah, well,
2 or less base, right?
He could do.
You could build around it.
I mean, is that good?
If you build a full fine center,
a fine center line.
Yeah.
Well,
then you could play a blue crane dance or yellow crane dance.
Oh, sorry, sorry.
You're a bit underwater.
You're sounding pretty robotic.
What have I done?
Nothing.
No, you're back now. It's just
and I think YouTube. I think even YouTube was just like, "No,
the internet
this guy's
freaked
talking
out.
Absolute shit. We're going to monetize this."
So
for anyone watching the live video, not the live video, I'm halfway through the 12% beer and my cheek has gone bright red.
What it is,
yeah.
So I was reading what someone wrote this in the Discord, so I'm not going to pretend that I thought this, and I thought it was a really interesting point, and it's about how people look at Breaking Scales and say, "Oh, that's just +1 once per game." Well, Shuko is all throughout the game, but it's not +1 once per game, because if you throw down Whelming Gust Wave for 4 and you have Breaking Scales, your opponent has to block for 5.
Yeah,
right.
It's a London press on that.
Actually, you are
a red defense reaction is not good enough.
Like it's as if you are attacking for 5 because your opponent has to respect it, right?
Yeah,
it's like having the mask. The threat of the card is almost the ability.
It's like if you just put lunging press in your arms and just go whenever, whenever lunging press whenever, and you're like, oh god.
And I know people don't like this because they're like because they're like, oh, if you're playing against a good opponent, then it won't matter. But guess what?
It's not easy.
A lot of the time, you're tired. It's been a long day, and you forget about what Breaking Scales does, and then you win the game. It's just happens.
How many times playing Ira or Katsu have you come up against someone and the +1 from Breaking Scales has either won you the game or got you a card draw because they said, "Oh, I forgot you had those."
I honestly 30% of games, I've won. Easy. Literally won because of that card. Like, not even at the last Blitz event I played in, at the Calling in New Jersey, with people coming down from dropping out of the day 2 of the Pro Tour to play Blitz, and still I'd say 2 out of my 6 games I won purely because of Breaking Scales. And like it's just a card that wins you games that you shouldn't win, and like you not want that in your deck. Like
Tiger Stripe Shuko, hot for Phi, cold for Katsu.
It is hot, but it's also not hot.
No, it's a hot.
It's fine.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's Schrodinger's legendary, is what you're saying.
It does a good piece of work.
Actually, it is pretty good. It's really good with Phoenix. I keep calling it Phoenix Force, which I know it's not what it's called.
Phoenix Force.
Have you Phoenix Flame? But yeah, it makes your second Phoenix Flame hit for 2, and a lot of the time they might not be blocking that, and that's actually quite nice, especially against certain things. So yeah, it is good. It is good. I shouldn't be too dismissive.
Okay,
it's not a Katsu card, which is great. Well done.
Moving on.
Good card design.
Illuvian Constellus.
Oh god, it's another one I don't bloody well really know what it does.
Equipment chest, right?
The pajamas, right?
Yeah,
the pajamas. The first time Illuvian Constellus prevents arcane damage each turn, it has less than 4. If it has less than 4 energy counters, you may put an energy counter on it.
Yeah.
Instant. Remove 2 energy counters from Illuvian Constellus. The next staff ability you activate this turn costs 3 less. It has Arcane Barrier 1.
I think it's really good.
I think it's really good too. And
I don't know why.
I think it's really good, even though I don't know why. But it has to be good, right? Like, you're obviously playing it against the mirror. Like, you're playing Icelander or you're playing Kano. I think you have to think, well, why am I not running Tunic, right? Or actually, the new Wizard common from Uprising isn't that
pretty good.
Terrible, actually. Like, it's pretty cool, especially if you're playing super aggro. I mean, it's more blitz relevant. Like, you're like, why am I going to play this over Tunic? And it's like, I guess if you're running, you want maximum value from your discount, but also, do you? Like, is just playing this with Crucible fine? Like, getting one discount Crucible? That's basically what Tunic does.
Yeah,
like,
I think that's fine. And it has Arcane Barrier.
No, it's not just that. Tunic does a shit ton of work by just going, my boots are free, that's always true. It always pays for the boots, and that's the strength of just going. But if it's very different, though.
If you're getting the boots, if you're getting the stuff for free, Crucible for free, you know, I get what you're saying, but like I think Tunic is really good. But I like this, and I think it's an interesting one. I think in Icelander you want to run this because you're going to be. If you're playing it depends how you're building it, but if you're playing it like a Moon build or a Kraken build, I don't see any reason why you don't. Yeah, obviously,
otherwise
you're not running against like fucking Katsu. Like, oh no, what have I done?
I'm going to wear my blue pajamas against Katsu.
Oh god, these daggers, they don't stop the Kadachi.
I actually think it's that the Wizards have now finally got some interesting like wizard. We've got wizard battles, everyone. We've now got the wizard
wars.
Wizard wars. They're going to wear
it's
this.
better than Robe of Rapture for 3, isn't it? I mean,
no, but you're going to be firing. You're going to be firing bloody free staffs at everyone. You're like, I'll catch your magic, suck it all in, and right, that's powered up my thing. I think this card is really cool. I think it's very. I think it's cool.
Yeah, I think it's I'm being really critical because I think we often end up just being like, oh, it's all hot. But I'm going to say this card is not hot. It doesn't excite me in the same way that like Coronet Peak, I think, is like a really exciting card, and it really.
Stop jumping ahead.
We've done that already.
Oh damn!
Yeah.
Okay. You're thinking of the other one.
I think this card is actually the coolest card in the set.
Yeah,
but I don't. But it's quite specific, even for a ninja. Oh, sorry, even for a wizard, it's quite specific about who this is going to be up for. So I will just say it's. I'll say it's not hot. But at the same time, I think it. I don't know. Fuck it. I'll change my mind. It's hot. I love it. I think it's cool. I'm
going to say not hot, and I'm actually going to go back and re-rate the Furnace as not hot based on my new criteria, which is I think I need to be way stricter with giving out the hot ratings. And I think Furnace is like it's a 3-block. It's interesting in Dramai. I think it's kind of cool in Dramai. But I think if I'm giving,
we're not.
If I'm giving. Yeah, no, I'm going back. I'm going back. If I'm giving this not hot, I'm giving that not hot as well.
Right.
So far, only Coronet.
We're leaving Tripp in the past, and we're moving on. Crown of Providence. When you defend with Crown of Providence, you may put a card from your hand or arsenal on the bottom of your deck. If you do, draw a card. It has Blade Break 2-block.
Yes.
So it's Crown of Seeds once per game.
Well, all cards with Blade Break are terrible, so this card can't be good.
I think this is. Should we all just? We can. It's pretty easy to say this card is hot, right?
Yes. Yeah. I think this card is hot.
It's hot.
Yeah, of course. We can all get this point. Now I'm going to throw this question out. That card is hot. Is it instant? Take your skull cap out, replace it. This card is it. Skull crap's dead.
Skull crap, more like, because it is dead.
I think it's dead.
No, it's not dead. You still run it against Briar, in my opinion.
So you haven't been playing any games.
You still run it against Rosetta. If your opponent's playing Rosetta, I think you should be running Skull Cap because it could win you. It could save the game for you, and I think you shouldn't forget about that. But I think Crown of or Cop, as we can call it, I guess, is really good. I think you're right. Biased though, because it's really good in our decks. Right?
I think honestly you're right. If there's an opponent, playing arcane damage, then you play
specifically Rosetta.
You don't play the Arknight Skullcap for its arcane blocking. You play it because you've got 3 health. It gives you 3 health. That's it.
You do. But if you're playing against Rosetta, it can be a pitch 3, stop 2 damage, right? I mean, it's
It stops vexing malice from just winning the game in the late game as well.
Simon, sit more to the right.
Okay.
There we go.
What I would say is this now makes me wonder whether there are going to be future effects on cards that stop, like that remove equipment from the combat chain, because this says obviously blade break. When the combat chain closes, if this defended, destroy it. So is there going to be a card that...
What do you mean? It doesn't say it like that.
That's what it says, blade break.
That's what blade break means, yeah.
I know that it'll break, but the actual text on getting its effect doesn't...
No.
In that instant.
No, but blade break says once the card is defended and the chain closes, destroy it. So I wonder whether there'll be a card in the future that puts it back and takes it off the chain so that it can be used again. I don't know.
Oh,
I'm just spouting rubbish.
That would be broken.
It's an interesting
That'd be like Crown of Seeds, wouldn't it?
All right. So
I think this card is really good.
I'm going to be the guy that says that.
Well,
I don't think this card is instantly going to replace Skullcap at all. I think Skullcap in actually quite a lot of games, you will want that over Cop, right? I think Cop is the card that you want to
started it now.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's a good name, Cop.
Yes.
Cop is the card that that you will put into your deck when you know that you're the aggressor. So if you are the Katsu versus the Briar, and you need or the Bolt, I'd have this in Bolton, right? This is perfect for Bolton because it is. I am proactive. I am in your face. I need to go. And I need to get I want to get that Arsenal card out, all that sort of stuff. That's brilliant for that. I've been playing it up for Viscerai, for example. And there was a lot of games where I thought that I was the aggressor in this matchup, but it turns out I'm not the aggressor. So when I was playing up against Briar, this card actually was not fulfilling what I really needed it to fulfill. I needed to actually have something where I actually had a bit more meat to take on stuff, because I needed to slow down a little bit to put the pressure on later on. Skullcap was perfect. And every time I face up against Katsu, man, I don't want Crown of Providence. That's not really the key card that I want. I need to have something that is going to just stop that nick of damage for the Mask of Momentum. And Skullcap is always going to achieve that more for me than a one-off Crown of Providence. Because once that's gone, that's gone. And yeah, I think every time I come back around, I was like, Skullcap, man.
What if I was to tell you that Crown of Providence actually blocks for 5 rather than 2? What would you say?
Because you can get the card from
you can get a card out of your Arsenal.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not disputing that. It's a very, very, very strong ability, but I think that the card. A lot of people are going to turn around and say it's going to be like skull crap now, and I think I literally used that word. Yeah. I'm taking it. It's a good. Again, it's another good one.
Cop and skull crap. Yeah, it's all good.
So I think that is a mistake. I think that is genuinely a mistake, and you need to give Skullcap a lot more credit than you give it. So
I think what this discussion has taught me is that Hamish has had quite a lot of that litre of beer already, and I've had quite a lot of my 12% beer.
I don't own it, so I'm trying to make people realise that I don't actually own
it. You want people to sell it
for the Cop, so I don't have a choice.
I genuinely think this card is incredible, because I think the more you think about the effect, the more you're like, and it's specifically like the 5-card hand. And I think if you've played Starvo a bit, or if you've played less Oldham, you realize that 4 cards in an Arsenal is obviously super, super strong, but actually 5 cards in hand is better in almost every situation. There's very few situations where you're like, like getting that extra pitch, getting that extra attack, getting into your hand. It doesn't matter what you Arsenal. Like Simon, I remember Simon when he was doing his Earthbriar deck tech was talking about how with Fuse decks, you sometimes end up arsenaling cards that you don't really want to arsenal because you use them to Fuse, and you'd run cards that would cycle cards out the arsenal for that reason. You don't have to do that. Like if you're playing a fusing deck, you're just like, okay, I'll just arsenal whatever the hell I want, because I can get rid of it.
Like that card is a once per game move.
Yeah, but once per game, like it.
Got to get that timing right.
Can you imagine if they printed this as a multiple times per game card? That card would surely be broken and banned in Blitz, wouldn't it? I think this is a well-balanced, strong, generic.
Oh, it's not broken. I think the card's pretty good. I think the card's well-balanced.
I think it's hot. Also, the art is really good.
Yeah,
and it just looks great. I just think it's cool. I just think it's neat, you know? I just think there's really interesting applications for it, neat. And I'm a big fan.
So, is there any more? Because this has gone on like a billion times longer than we actually generally thought this was
it's like for. We're almost at the end.
Yeah,
do you want to talk about the Fable?
We're going to talk about the Fable. The Fable's terrible.
I think Fable's shit, right? So let's move on to the next.
But also, like, we'd appreciate your feedback on this section because we always do the heroes. If you like us doing the cards, let us know. If not, we'll go back to just doing the heroes. But I thought if you enjoyed this,
we'd change it up.
This remix of what's hot one night.
So
give us some feedback.
Yeah, Uprising, man, are you hyped for it? I'll throw out. I'll throw out this last question. Unless there's actually another thing on the topic list, Simon, that you.
So I was just going to quickly run through the ban and restricted announcement and just see what you guys thought to it.
Well, the season. Can we? I don't give a shit about Blitz.
All right.
Crown and Seas is banned. Oldham was busted. This card's tempered him down a bit. It'll make the format pretty interesting to go. What do we do if a guy doesn't have one additional block every turn? I'm sure.
They also got rid of Ball Lightning and Belittle in Commoner,
which I think is very, very clever. Yeah. Right. No, the big thing I wanted to just quickly go over was obviously Bravo and Chain have gone. Hooray. Right? Exciting. However, that means now that Autumn's Touch is back. Tripp, are you happy?
I am so happy, right?
Yeah, that card was
because
fine.
Not only...
That card is fine.
Autumn's Touch is back. Yeah. Blue Sift, best card in the game, has been printed. They've given Earthbriar another blue 3-block. I mean, it's a dream come true.
It's a dream come true.
I'm pretty nervous.
Array's Face is like
that's a great card
for Briar. Like, if they'd given it 3-block, it genuinely would be a perfect card for Briar. It's another on-hit effect, which with the deck loves because it can buff above 6, so it becomes on-hit effects sometimes.
Depends what hero you're going to throw this at, I think.
Oh, yeah. Like, I'm not throwing it at any
of them.
But it's a two cost 6 power, you know. It's the bread and butter of the day. It's like if you could design a card for the deck, you'd be like, I'd take that.
I like how they're starting to put I think they looked at Command and Conquer and went, yeah, that was too good. And the reason it's too good is because it's 3-block. So we realised that we actually do need to make some good, strong cards like Dude Confidence. I think Nourish and Emptiness was kind of like a good balance where they went, the ability doesn't always trigger off, so have another block for it. So I think they've realised now Command and Conquer is the pinnacle of this is too good. E-Strike is too good.
But I think that was the
feels very deliberate now. So this is
the Welcome to Wraith and Arcane Rising sets sort of they evaluated the cost curve of the cards they printed and realised where they slightly messed up. And I think things like Plunder Run, which has gone, was off the charts on the cost curve. Command and Conquer is slightly better than Curve. And they've modified that for future releases. So I think that's all you can ask for from a
they're doing it. So
I think there's some I'm really happy with the generics in the set. I think I'm looking at it now. That All You Got, the yellow defense reacts, is a really fun, interesting card. I think that's really cool. I don't think I think people went crazy for it. It's definitely not as good.
I think
there's only a few decks that you can actually get value off it, but it's still cool. I think Vipox is like one of those cards to watch. I'm sure there'll be something
in Katsu is going to be interesting.
I think it's cool, and I think some of the I actually have a soft spot for this generic, which is 0 cost, but you can pay 2 to give it. So it's 0 cost, deal 4, but you can pay 2 to make it 6. I just think that's a really cool, flexible card. I know it's not.
Flex?
It's flex. I know it's not crazy good.
Rare,
it's
right?
Probably not going to see play, but
red is 4.
Yeah. I just think it's a cool card. I like that flexible kind of card. I think it's kind of cool. Kind of works reasonably well. Actually, 0 cost 4s are actually kind of nice sometimes. But I think the set is really good. I really like that. This is not prove, but it does appear that the rates of Rainbow 4 legendaries seems to be a bit better. There seems to be a lot more of them. That's probably just like circumstantial evidence, but I personally, it seems to be good. And I think that's great for the game because getting L's is the most exciting part of the game.
I think I'm going to open this at the end of the podcast and see how it goes.
God, I'm still. I'll tell you what, this is the first. I'm still drinking this. This has still got loads left.
There's like a liter.
It's not like a liter, Tripp.
It is literally a liter. And the number of people I've spoken to is not many, but some of them have said it's so exciting for the game to have a new draft set because, oh my God, it has been so long since Tales of Aria came out, and we've just been sitting around twiddling our thumbs, playing CC, and it has been great, but it's really good that we have this draft set
it's been 9 months, hasn't it? 9 months.
Because it's so good for getting new players into the game. And I know we were shitting on Sealed, but Sealed is also a very good way of getting new players into the game because you don't have to bring anything with you. You just turn up,
it's just a demo,
open packs, and play the game, and that is very good. That's the same with draft. It's been an hour. Do we have this? This has been episode 30. The podcast is officially older than me, which is incredible.
Get out.
But thank you for your patience as the extra week that we had to prepare for this podcast. But I hope you guys are excited about RTN season and everything that's coming up.
So to everyone that's listening, firstly, thank you for being with us for 30 episodes. If you've not been with us, that's fine as well. Go back and catch up because it's all on bloody YouTube. So we love you all. We want you all to join our Patreon. They get awesome prizes like heralds from the Content Creator Kit number 2.
Hamish also does random midnight giveaways.
Yeah, what's that all about?
Which was actually went really well because
it did go really well.
No one knew how to do Discord timings. So
well, we're gonna do another one. We're gonna do one now.
On the Discord.
Yeah, no. We're gonna do another one right now.
Another giveaway. Yeah. Okay, we're doing it. Is this a Patreon giveaway?
You're doing it, Peter. You're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing a map. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're doing a map because I didn't.
So the last map was won by our good friend James, also a judge and player.
Yeah. We are giving away
the Celestial Cataclysm map.
Badass map.
It's a real cool map. Now
that is a really good one. Genuinely. The last one was good, but this one was good too.
Are we taking James off the list?
Yeah.
I think that is the fairest thing for the...
I think he would appreciate that as well. I think he's happy with that.
Are we taking Tripp off the list?
No, yes, but if it lands on me, we reroll. Because I just want to know that I could have...
I just want to know. Okay. We are moving over. The wheel? Yeah, the wheel's
There are actually coffee grounds in my beer.
Wheel of Fortune! Is that how it is?
Yeah.
And
the winner is Jack Raven.
Hey! Well done, Jack.
The nicest man from Southampton.
He is a lovely man from Southampton. And congratulations, Jack. Big friend of the podcast and good player. So congratulations on your Celestial Cataclysm map. He used to play Prism. I don't know if I think he still does actually. So that could be a nice map for you, Jack.
Well done,
just before we go, I've just started opening a box of Uprising because I'm getting jitters without it. But is there any better sight than having 2 flesh and blood backs on the tokens on the back? Do you know what I mean? When you open a pack of Uprising and both tokens...
and then you end up getting a bloody Phoenix Force or whatever it is.
Yeah. I know what you mean. You look at it and you go,
yeah,
this could be spicy.
I know we're at the end of the podcast.
What do you do? Do you instantly look, or do because when I
I
always save it.
I go, could be a good one. Right, time to fish.
We are nearly at the end, but we didn't touch on this too much. The new pack design is fantastic.
It's great.
You have the middle of the pack spice, and then you're like, I just got a foil common, and then you're like, but I still got another chance to get a really good card. And it's so good. It just makes it so you don't just throw the...
I'm a big fan.
Really good job. Like, genuinely, we actually haven't done a well-done LSS in ages. Like, they've been doing good stuff, but we used to say it all the time. We're like such fanboys. But like, genuinely, the pack layout is amazing. I also like the fact that it's the 16 cards because it just feels like you get more. I know that's really stupid, but
we've had the supplemental sets, haven't we? So it's been
I'm a big fan. I think the set looks really cool. I'm not going to play Dramai, but watching people play Dramai, it's another one of those things where you're just like, that looks so cool. Like
just watching all the dragons,
they've really nailed like this something about the design of this game where you watch people playing and it's like it looks fun. It's like watching people play Katsu. You're like, oh, that looks really fun. Like it looks like you're doing stuff.
But also, do you not just think that dragons in general is just going to bring people into the game?
Yeah, because they're really, and shout out to the artists because the art is phenomenal. Shout out to LSS for being smart enough to think this art is so good. We can't, I mean, they probably had the idea for having full art cards, but well done for having that idea because can you imagine? You've probably seen the regular versions of the dragons. It's just not the same because like they're not, these huge Marvel cards just look so good and it's so well done.
Yeah. Oh, well done. I
think. You go.
I think it's basically. I think it pulls off really well for an ally, right? Something that is going to be part of the board state, sitting on the board, being there. I think they've realised that they need to sort of give this a little bit more of flavour, you know.
Yeah.
Rather than looking like the rest of your attack actions. You know what I mean?
Boy, have they done that! Yeah,
they generally have, and wouldn't it have been sick to have a Ursa or Blasphemophet in
full art cold war.
Like you summon Ursa in full art, you'd have been like, oh my god.
And what I want to see crazy. I want to see them. What I want to see them do is take these dragons, and I want them to become part of the PvE experience, like because the illusions of the dragons. I want to see them keep this concept and continue to talk about these dragons because they're so cool. Liquefy.
Yeah.
Isn't that a card? No. Does that card return the attack? The equipment?
Melts armor.
Melts armor. Yeah.
It does just melt it. Okay.
By the way, everyone, clip this from Tripp. Clip it. Next year, you'll be like, didn't you
PvE dragons? I do think that it would work. Like they're real, and it's like a real boss version. Because I genuinely, I know it's dumb, but like the art on those cards is too good to not.
Yeah,
like just.
But also
the fact that strong.
The fact that there's one per region as well. I think it's really clever the way they've interwoven it with the lore. I think it's going to be. I think there's going to be so much to come from it.
I also don't know if you guys have thought just the way that Flesh and Blood works is like you could have multiple cards representing a boss. So like with different hit points, and you could like target like different, like kind of in like they like in Dark Souls where you attack like the dragon's tail, and like you could get a bonus for like killing that first, and that could be represented by its own card. I don't know. Going off on a tangent here.
As Tripp references Dark Souls.
Well,
it sounds like Monster Hunter.
Yeah, like exactly. That would be kind of cool.
Yeah.
We should probably wrap up the podcast.
I think we should.
Because we've just added an extra 10 minutes for good measure.
We're just going.
We're good, man. We're cool.
Vibing.
But we'll do an ending because then that way Hamish actually has an ending.
So I can actually put the music bit in.
But thank you for joining us. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Please follow us on Spotify, and please consider becoming a patron if that's something that you're financially able to do. If not, just continue to comment on our YouTube videos, and if you see us out in the world, let us know. I know a lot of us are going to Road to Nationals in the UK. I'm apparently going to 7 of them.
7?
I was only meant to be going to 5, but that's the way it goes. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.